Hey there, happy day 822 of What's She Up To Now. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here with chips on my shoulder. I actually did chips on my shoulder for the Supersize Your Business and my daily, my daily live video on my Facebook profile page. I talk about an idiom and a subject there every morning to kind of warm up my voice and to test it out and try to figure out, well, how do I make this idiom apply to business owners and people with businesses? And then I talk about that same idiom on my Supersize Your Business page. Now today it was about chip on your shoulder, so I got to eat two nice crunchy salty potato chips. I believe these are Ruffles potato chips, and they are very salty, so they're probably sending my blood pressure through the roof, and I don't normally eat them, but I had some yesterday too. And I've even eaten hot dogs and stuff that's super bad for me during this pandemic. So I, for one, will be so grateful when we can get out and about and get more fresh produce, better fresh produce. But you know what? In Wisconsin, produce is not king. We do not get amazing, incredible produce in this area unless it's right from the farmer's market, which, you know, we only have a very short farmer's market season here, which I always look forward to. So today, day 822 days of sharing as I document my journey from the brick and mortar world of real businesses. I call them real businesses, which irritates some of my online friends, but it's what I grew up in. That and the corporate world. I spent over a quarter century in corporate America in some of the biggest corporations and the biggest companies on the planet, as well as family-owned businesses, which were really big family-owned businesses, 100 million plus family-owned businesses, and had my own businesses on the side in different industries, lots of different industries, lots of crazy experiences and crazy industries. Seems like people that have the business bug or the entrepreneurial bug tend to go through a series of a whole bunch of businesses until we land in the business or the profession that feels right for us. And I feel like online business is home for me, but I still have not clicked into my stride. I don't have my footing yet exactly where I want it to be. And part of that is something that I'm personally working on and taking advantage of this pandemic for. Is really studying and looking into, okay, what's my one thing? Because I coach people on what's their one thing and get them to focus on that. Yet, my son asked me yesterday, well, Mom, how many different things are you doing? And I'm like, well, at least 3, but I've been trying to get down to 1. And challenges have been my thing for about a year now. I'm focusing on challenges because I do challenges. I've done hundreds and hundreds of challenges, and I love them. I love doing them. I do them whether I get paid or not. I love to do challenges. I almost always have a challenge going in some way, shape, or form in my personal life as well as in my business life. And right now, day 29 today of the Get Up and Go Challenge, helping people, primarily business owners, to know what to do during this pandemic, whether their business is smoking hot or they're shut down right now. Everybody is feeling this massive change and it's a global change that's going throughout the world. It's like a big giant wave, right? It's kind of like this pandemic is a big tsunami over the whole planet. And that leaves people wondering what to do about it. What do I do about this? And so I'm helping people to take the next step, to make sure that we're taking the next step. Good morning, Norleen. I can actually see some stuff on my screen today. That's awesome. So, chip on your shoulder, you know, feeling like you're, actually, it's really, I actually didn't know the origin of this expression. It came from a game that boys would play in America in the early 1800s. They would actually put a rock or a wood chip on their shoulder and dare another boy to knock it off. And of course, if the other boy knocked it off, the two were going to fight. So it came to mean to be quarrelsome or rude or aggressive or to pick a fight, to be ready for a fight. You had a chip on your shoulder. Now, I guess there's been situations in my past where I've had a chip on my shoulder, right? Where I've been ready for a fight or I've been ready to fight for what I want moving forward. And then there's been other times when I just go with the flow. But sometimes that chip on your shoulder shows up as being resentful or jealous or overly competitive or showing up as being a victim and at the mercy of someone or something that we don't necessarily want to be at the mercy of. And a lot of people right now are feeling frozen and paralyzed and at the victim of this current pandemic, the current global situation around us. And that is giving away all of our power to feel like a victim or to be a victim of this, because even though we feel like we can't control that situation, which by the way we can't, none of us can control the virus and the track it's taking, the trajectory and what's going on with it. We don't have that ability. You or I don't have that ability to control that. We really never have ability to control things that happen outside of us, but we all have the ability and the 100% responsibility to control how we're reacting to it, how we're responding to it, and how we're going to move forward with our lives based on what's going on around us, right? We can't change that, but we focus on the things that we can change and that we can do, and we do that. So I thought that was interesting. I never knew that that's where that idiom came from. And it makes me rethink some of my past experiences where I did behave in ways that I wasn't necessarily proud of, right? When I overreacted to things. I think of, fights with the ex, right? I guarantee there were situations that I overreacted because of the situation that was going on around me. And that prepared me and got me ready for doing better jobs moving forward. Out of every challenge that we have, every situation that we've faced, there are lessons to be learned from that, and we take those lessons with us. I and a lot of other people are in this pandemic with a really different perspective than we thought we'd be. I thought that if there was ever a global event, a zombie apocalypse, because I for some reason I'm attracted to zombie shows, which if you know me, that just seems weird, right? I used to hate horror films or any scary movies until after I had my sudden cardiac arrest. And after that, I actually find them really entertaining and interesting and funny, right? I don't know very many people that think zombie shows are funny, but I think they're funny. So we're attracted to things that make us feel good, right? And for some reason, zombie movies make me feel good these days. But I thought, hey, if there's a zombie apocalypse, I'm screwed, right? I'm going to be absolute positive toast. And so this pandemic is probably the closest thing, hopefully, that any of us will ever face to a zombie apocalypse, right? And I find that I'm doing okay, and it's because I'm drawing on all of the past experiences, all of the past dramas and traumas and crisis and terrible things that have happened to me in the past. And even though at the time they felt like the worst thing in the whole wide world that could ever happen, out of them I learned so many lessons. And one of those was that when something outside of me happens that I can't control, I need to pull inward and realize that my reaction, my response, my choice in terms of how I'm going to react to that thing is way more important than the thing itself. So here's an example. I got fired from one of my jobs in a very bad way. I mean, in a bad way I got fired. I hadn't done anything wrong, which is why it felt so bad, but I was just really treated badly and fired in a bad way. And I carried that experience in a negative way with me going forward for like a couple of years. And it wasn't until I redid that experience in my mind and let that go that I was able to actually get over it and move forward in my life. And because of the pain and and it was traumatic, right? It was like usually you get fired and it shouldn't be that traumatic, but for me it felt really traumatic. And the lesson I needed to learn in that was that it didn't have anything to do with me personally, me as a human being, or me even as the job I was doing. It had to do with the other people involved in the situation and their messed upness, because it was definitely a messed up situation. But kind of like my marriage, I blamed myself for years for my marriage failing. Now, did I play a role in that? Absolutely. I have culpability and some responsibility in that. But was it 100% my responsibility, so I should beat myself up and never have a happy life and a happy relationship again? No. But for a long time, because I grew up believing that you get married once, you get married for your whole life, that ate away at me and that bothered me until I learned the lesson from that a lot of times what people do that impacts us has nothing to do with us. Think about road rage and driving. People on the highway when they're driving around, there's not much of that going on right now, but there probably is still some. I haven't driven for a couple of years. It's got nothing to do with the other person. It's got to do with what you're feeling on the inside for the most part, right? It's like, if I realized, and when I gave up road rage, because I used to get road rage, believe it or not, I realized one day that the people around me had no idea that they were even upsetting me, right? And so why was I getting upset and impacting? It's kind of like forgiveness, right? the people that we need to forgive for things for ourselves, a lot of times they don't even know that they did or said or hurt us in any way, right? And that we need to forgive them. But it's like a little cancer eating away at us and making us feel bad every time we think about the situation or the person. So we need to forgive it. We need to let those things go. I don't know how I got off on that tangent. I tend to get off on tangents sometimes. So today, what's going on? I have got Get Up and Go Challenge. Already did that. I will post the homework for that in a little bit after I'm done chatting here with you. Then I'm doing another challenge. I'm kind of half-assed, and I don't like to say I'm half-assed doing anything, but I'm kind of half-assed doing a challenge with a group that's in ClickFunnels and stuff, just because I'm observing. I always like to, when I can, hop in and watch and see how other people are using challenges, because it helps me learn and grow and get better at doing mine. So I'm doing that. So I'm auditing. It's like auditing in college, right? You're just taking the class for the information, but you're not actually actively 100% participating. Now, I did just get done with the Rise Up Challenge, which I did actively participate in. I really enjoyed that. I loved the speakers. To me, that was more of a summit than a challenge. There were like 60 speakers in that. So to me, is that a challenge or is that a summit? We had daily action item like it's a challenge, but it was really a summit. So it's all how we define things, right? And guess what? Each and every one of us, me and you, we each get to define things any way we freaking want. I love that about life, right? I get to decide what is beautiful or what is ugly. I get to decide what tastes good and is good for me or not. Nobody else does. Only I get to decide that. Only you get to decide and have to decide what's good for you, what tastes good to you, what you like, what you don't like. It's up to you. So, that challenge I'm doing, I'm auditing a challenge today. I'm getting ready for a 3-day event starting tomorrow. It's going to be my first full active interactive virtual event starting tomorrow, and it's the, what is it called? The A360, Adventure Reach 360 or something. They had scheduled that to be an in-person event, and they were going to have 1,100 people, and now it's a virtual event, and they've got 3,000 people. Now, this is pretty exciting, right? And this is something I am excited to participate in, because I can see me doing this going forward with the Get Up and Go Challenge and turning this into a thing, right? People need to get up and go, whether we're in a pandemic or not. We need to frickin' get up and go for our lives, right? We need to stop sitting around and waiting for our life to begin, waiting for things to happen around us, waiting for it to be perfect, waiting for anything, and just move our butts, right? And start doing things. So I'm excited about that, because I was already last week thinking, okay, I'm almost to the end of my challenge. What's next? What's next for me? Do I want to do a summit? I may very well do a Get Up and Go summit, or I may do a Get Up and Go virtual event. I'm excited about that, because I know there are incredible people and resources that I could call on right now that would help you and me get to where we want to go faster, so much faster, by learning the lessons that they've learned. Even if every person just came and shared one nugget, one thing that helped them the most, that would be really, really valuable. So I'm excited to participate in that starting tomorrow. I already told my son he's got to help me with his daughter Thursday and Friday for sure, because I'm not going to miss a minute of that. And I never want her to feel like she's not getting the attention she needs, like 100% attention. So that is coming up, and I'm excited about that. I'm also doing a Read 30 Books in 30 Days challenge, which I got to tell you, I'm participating in that one, and that is a stretch for me personally. I don't know if you know, but I am legally blind, so it's definitely a challenge for me to figure it out. But guess what? It's a really important skill that I needed to figure out anyway, and Avril is amazing. She teaches us a way to get the information we want out of a resource. You can use this on other resources, not just on books, right? So I'm learning a strategy, and I'm practicing it every day for 30 days. Do you think at the end of 30 days, I'm going to be able to look at a book or grab a book or experience the information and things I need out of a book so much faster? It's not about reading it word for word, and she teaches us an absolute amazing way to go through and get that information. Now for me, it can't necessarily be visual. I can throw it up on the big screen TV when my granddaughter's not with me, but otherwise I've had to get really creative with how I do it. I'm listening to some audiobooks on super speed, which is probably perfect for me because I talk really fast. So I'm having a good time doing that. But that challenge is a real challenge and a real reach and a real stretch for me, which is why I'm loving it, because it's exciting. And it's fun to have someone outside of me challenge me, not just me challenge me. Now, the most important thing is that we challenge ourselves and we commit to ourselves and then do what we say we're going to do. But it's also really fun to learn from other people so that I can go faster, right? That's it. That is Fun Day Challenge. Today was day 113, and it was about a song that makes us want to dance. Now, I'm not a big dancer, a little bit of two left feet going on here, but every once in a while there will be a song that pops into my head or pops into my life, or it's on the radio, or the kids or somebody around me is playing, and it makes you just want to get up and dance around the kitchen, dance around the bathroom, careful there, it can be slippery, dance around the living room, dance around anywhere, dance around the yard. Wouldn't it be fun if everybody just randomly started dancing around the yard? That'd be pretty funny. Like, what are those called? Flash mobs. Flash mob of dancing. That would be fun. Anyway, that's it. That's all I've got today. Go out and have an absolutely awesome day. If I can help you in any way, just ask in the comments below. I am here for you. And it's not that hard to ask. If I don't know the answer, I will help you find the answer. I will make sure that you get hooked up with somebody or something or some resource that will help you take the next step. All right, have a great day, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.